Welcome back, everybody, to Zielonka. We are here, surprise live stream this Sunday afternoon. We're talking a little bit about Black Friday deals, and you know what? Might as well get this out of the way. GPortal, we are a partner with GPortal. GPortal currently has a Black Friday sale going on until tomorrow. So if you're maybe interested, check it out. It's still going on until tomorrow. 50% off all new game servers. If you use my partner code, !GPortal, to have that pull up. If you use my partner code, that's the wrong one, then you can save up to 55% off of a new game server. You can literally have a server up and running in probably less than 5 minutes from creating your first account. Fastest game server provisioning I have seen. Fastest updating. To update a server to a new version, you literally turn it off, then you turn it back on. That's all it's needed. It updates all by itself. It's pretty slick. At any rate, they offer up to 25 gigs of mod space, and they have servers for nearly 100 different games. Farm Sim 22, 19, 17, American Truck Sim, Euro Truck Sim, Assetto Corsa Competizione. Those are all servers that we have all used over the last year just in this channel alone. Definitely worth going and checking them out. Using the link posted in chat. Again, we've got a Black Friday sale going on until tomorrow. Where you save up to 55% off a new server. If you're an existing customer, well, the easiest way to take advantage of the deal is to let your current server expire, set it to not auto-renew, and just pick up a new one. That's what I did last year. We were wanting to get into ACC as a community. So I looked it up and I saved a fortune off of buying an ACC server for a year. It's cheaper than 6 months worth because I saved over 50% off. And we used that for about 9 or 10 months until we kind of got a little tired of ACC and moved on. But it was still well worth it. Definitely worth going and checking it out. Again, !GPortal for that partner link in chat. Farmer G, what's up? What is up? Yeah, as I was saying earlier, I think Shaq does Epson printers. Or maybe he does Brother. Yeah, Epson's had those tankless printers for a while. But their ink is still fairly expensive. This HP ink, I was floored. It's like $18 a bottle, right, for the color, and I think it's about that much for the black. And the fact is, you don't have to replace all the colors if you run out of blue. Well, you just replace the blue, right? They do have replaceable print heads, so that's another consumable. If the print head jams up or gets messed up, looks like you can just buy a replacement print head as well. Big Groovit said Amazon's got some deals on NVMe drives. These games are starting to take up a ton of space. And maybe let's not even talk about games. Let's talk about mods. Mods for these games take up a ton of space. We were talking about mods the other live stream. Somebody was saying they had like 65 gigs of mods in their mod folder. That seems a little excessive to me, but hey, you know what? Maybe you need some space for your mod folder. I've got a video on how to tell the game where to look for your mods outside of the normal location for your mod folder, so you can easily put your mod folder on a secondary drive if you needed to. Mojo Jojo, it's been a while. Where you been, man? How you doing? Welcome back. Welcome back. Those of you in the States have probably had a safe and pleasurable Thanksgiving. We were traveling all day yesterday. We made it back last night and thought this afternoon would be a great time to do a surprise live stream. We're going to be live streaming on our secondary channel, FK's Funhouse channel. Tonight, we're going to be doing American Truck Sim. Again, that is a server that's available over at GPortal. We're going to be using our Truck Sim GPortal server. Now that 1.49 has dropped, Kansas is coming Thursday. So that is the excitement over there. ATS, ETS2, and most of those DLCs are available for sale on Steam. If you are maybe looking to catch up with ETS2 or ATS DLC, now is a perfect time to do so. If you've not gotten the game, you're interested in getting the game, $4.99 for the base game. Perfect time to get into it. Waylon, good evening, good afternoon. Well, Mojo, I hope you're getting a little better. I know how it can be this time of year. With the weather changing, it can really affect some folks. Well, it's interesting with the premium edition here, or premium expansion. I'm going to use expansion and edition interchangeably because, quite frankly, they are one and the same thing with respect to Zielonka, at least. And technically, you could say I'm running the premium edition since we do have all the DLCs activated. I like how they have kind of rolled the potatoes in with the carrots, parsnips, and red beets with respect to planting. While you don't have to ridge, there is an incentive to ridge because we get a bonus fertilization layer even with planting our potatoes in ridged soil. So we only have to do one pass of fertilizer. So it'll be a little bit cheaper. Time is money, so you gotta make a decision. You know, is it worth your time to do the ridging in order to save the money on that fertilization pass? Now, something I wanted to get your all's thoughts on. There seems to have been maybe a little controversy amongst some players around the production on Zielonka and the fact that there are certain secondary productions on the map without all the primary productions also existing. Almost to the where the players feel like, you know, if you have a bakery, then you have to have a flour mill. Right? What happens if you have a bakery without a flour mill? Seems fairly logical to me. If you can't buy a flour mill on the map, you have to build one. Right? I don't know, there's some folks that were really frustrated with this map because we didn't have a flour mill. I thought it was disappointing, but it wasn't like the world's going to end type of a problem. The same with the potato chip factory. The potato chip factory takes potatoes and oil. There's no oil mill pre-placed on the map. So if you want to do potato chips, you got to build your own oil factory. it's something to work up toward. Right? It's just something to work up toward. I don't think Giants is required to put those, you know, all the productions that are in a single chain on the map. I think Elm Creek, we mostly had that. You know, we had a spinnery. We didn't have a tailor. We had to put our own tailor down. But we did have a flour mill. We did have a dairy. We did have a bakery. So we had that production covered. I'm trying to think if, I guess Hope by the Rune had the same, all the bases covered as far as your inner productions, but didn't have a lot of secondary productions. Silver Run Forest had a lot of forestry productions, not a whole lot of base game items. So maybe this is the first Giants map that had that incident where we had second tier productions without the first tier production already being there. We've definitely had plenty of mod maps that way. I'm curious if how the reception is on those mod maps that don't do that. Shane, what's up? How's it going? So I was just looking at these rollers here in the back, and they're like rolling in the opposite direction. And that seemed strange initially, but there's a hydraulic pump here, so maybe they roll backwards in order to help form these ridges, because if they rolled forwards, I don't know, maybe they wouldn't form as well. Maybe that's what's going on here. Yeah, I mean, I would like to see this. I'm not so concerned about this being a flower production. I would have loved to see this windmill up here be like a small scale flower production. Yeah, the windmill, it's just above the tractor there. That would have been cool for me, seeing that as a flower production. And then knowing that I could place that down somewhere else, like on another map. Yeah, I mean, what's, like, you know, what's disappointing is, and I mentioned this in the map tour, right? I didn't hold any punches here. No, not that one. You know, this in the game is simply a sell point. But if, you know, we have it modeled as production, why can't we just make this the production and sell point? We've got maps where we have production and sell points at the same place, right? If you want to sell, you go to one drop-off trigger. If you want to produce, you go to another drop-off trigger at the same location. I don't know which map was the first map to have done that, but I thought that was a pretty ingenious idea to have both sell trigger and production trigger and let the player pick. Like, even if you own the dairy, well, maybe you have more milk than you can process through the production that you just want to get rid of. So you want to sell bulk milk at the dairy. Legion, what is up? Long time no see. I know we're streaming earlier than we normally do, so we can catch those folks that are normally going night eyes, right? Sleeping it away during our normal stream. Thank you so much for the suggestion that people hit that little like button. You know what else we like? We like people who are members of the channel. And as such, we like to give them a little shout out every so often. This video is brought to you by William Chapman and Jonathan. Thank you for being farm barons. If you'd like to support the channel and you'd like to figure out how to become a farm baron and get such a shout out just like that, there is a join button down below the video. Now, if you are on iOS, I believe the join button may be hidden. Thank you, Apple, because Apple insists on taking 30% of the cut. And YouTube says, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. So on iOS, that join button is disabled. But at any rate, on laptops, Android, or other such devices, you will see a join button. You can click on that, read about the member perks and the various levels of membership that we have here. Martin, glad I could stream this afternoon. It's difficult, you know, when you work first shift. 8 to 4:30 is my normal working hours. 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Eastern U.S. time. Right, so by the time I get off work, get home, get dinner, get settled in, a lot of the world is fast in bed. Fast in bed. So weekend is an opportunity to do a little afternoon live streaming and catch some of you all early in your early evenings, late evenings. We are just about done ridging. I gotta pick up my planter. We've got a planter already set up, ready to rock and roll. Or at least I should say bought and ready to rock and roll. Won't take us too long. Get that planting done. So what we're doing, we're putting potatoes in this bigger field because we had potatoes in 41. I want more potatoes because we're running out of potatoes and it's March. We're not going to get our potatoes harvested until August, so we're going to run out of potatoes before we get to that point. So I want to try to get some more potatoes in the ground than we had last year. We've got a fair number of carrots, an okay number of parsnips, not a lot of red beets. So I want to try to plant more evenly the rest of these root crops this coming cycle because, well, we can make a pretty good fortune. As I said in the intro, we can make a pretty good fortune on just soup here on Zielonka. We are averaging $35,000 a month in just selling soup And the only two soups that we are currently producing are triple soups and potato soup. So many potatoes, so many carrots, parsnips, and red beets to triple soup. $35,000 a month. That's like $370,000 a year. Is that right? If I can keep that soup factory running year round, it seems pretty good money for only making soup. Right? You got a couple busy months a year, and then the rest of the year you can just kind of do whatever. Make more money on contracts during the rest of the time. We do have some pigs, so we got to keep up with those. We got chickens, so we do have to keep up with those. But seriously, soup's pretty good. Our preserves are just as profitable, from what I understand. I haven't dived into potato chips. Oh, you're thinking about buying a wheel for FS22. Would it be compatible with whatever the next farm sim is? Probably yes, sure. I would expect. Are you on PC or are you on console? I mean, the only catch there is if you're on console is if the console wishes to have compatibility for that wheel, not just in farm sim, but just flat out period. Like I believe, for example, in FS19, the Logitech side panel worked on console, or at least on Sony PS4. But come FS22, the side panel no longer worked for PlayStation. But that's not a game thing, that was a Sony thing. Apparently the side panel was never supposed to work to begin with. At least that's the rumor. That Sony took the code out. So yeah, on PC, I would say you shouldn't have any issue whatsoever. As long as you get a fairly popular wheel. Now there has been a fair bit of interest recently around the Hori farm equipment bundle. I think that's what they call it. With the new Hori wheel and pedal set and side panel joystick hand throttle combo. It's $399. It's a really expensive. And I feel it's maybe more expensive than it should be. I haven't really seen a lot of reviews on it. I asked them if they would be willing to send me a review copy, a review setup, to do a review. As someone who's played Farm Sim with a wheel since 2016, I felt I was a good person that has also the Logitech side panel. In fact, I compare the two side panels, the Logitech and theirs, and then also make reference with respect to the wheel, right? Never heard anything. So I don't really expect, quite frankly, to see anything as a result of that. And I don't think they've seeded out wheel sets to anybody. Now we have, for example, Thrustmaster did send out a fair number of farm sticks to creators. I wasn't one of those, but they did send out a fair number of those to folks, and that included the a mounting bracket to mount certain existing Thrustmaster wheels in more of a horizontal fashion similar to what you would have with tractors and trucks, heavy machinery. So I would trust Thrustmaster far further than I would just blindly trust Hori, because I don't have any experience with Hori, and I've had 2 wheels from Thrustmaster. My only 2 wheels I've ever owned was a T150 Pro from Thrustmaster, and now a T300 RS from Thrustmaster. There's a T248 and a T149 or something. They both work with that new bracket. I would say I would be more inclined to go with the Thrustmaster farm stick and bracket and corresponding wheel and pedals that fit that bracket. If all you ever do play is farm sim, then the fact that the Hori wheel doesn't have force feedback wouldn't really matter to you. But if you are looking at all to do anything else, like maybe American Truck Sim or other driving titles, then you may more inclined to then you may be more inclined to have a wheel with force feedback. And if that's the case, then it's hard to go wrong with something like Thrustmaster or Logitech for that fact. Now the leaves we're getting here because we cultivated this field with a shallow cultivator or a disc harrow, and as such we had this texture on the field. So when we plant, we're getting this texture back. It's kind of confusing because we have this nice rich dark earth, and then you get this, like, why are we getting these leaves covering this? But yeah, that's why. It's because of the cultivator that we used when we did our field prep. CFL Saskatchewan. Thanksgiving was good. Thanksgiving good. We actually technically celebrated our Thanksgiving yesterday. We had travel. It was our youngest's 10th birthday yesterday. So we kind of combined Thanksgiving and his birthday with a meal at his grandparents'. I do not follow anyone, CFL Saskatchewan, modder, mapper, so I have zero idea. You'll have to check his Facebook. I assume he has Facebook, but the answer is probably it'll come out when it's done. I didn't even know they were working on one. So, like, for example, the map that came out last, what came out? Came out Friday, because I had off Friday. The map that came out Friday, turns out, it was, modeling the Clarkson Farms, right? Jeremy Clarkson, the Amazon series. I don't watch it. I don't watch any of that stuff, so I didn't necessarily know that until, well, after my video was published. Well, then go watch that. I'm sure that maybe gives you some information. Get our potatoes in the ground. And then we also, well, we need to look at our food. So let's pull that up. What's this? That's it. Corn, sorghum, and chicken. So we need to, I want to plant sorghum. It's next month. No, I'm not in TeamSpeak. Well, I think the prevailing theory on why console players have slot counts is because Sony and Microsoft don't want you as a player to have a bad experience on their platform. So they, Sony and Microsoft, wish to impose limits on you, the player, so that you may have a pleasurable experience on their platform. And one way of doing that is to basically restrict what you can do on their platform by limiting how much stuff you can have in your save game. It's very, very easy, even for PC players, to just completely buy way too much stuff, have way too much machinery, have way too many things on their farm, to the point where frames just plummet because PC players don't have any restrictions. And when PC players have that experience, the first thing they do is they tell everyone how badly optimized Farm Sim is and how terrible Giants is and how the game just absolutely sucks because their save is, you know, horrible on frames. What they don't tell people is the fact that they've got, you know, 17 tractors and 300 implements, and they actively have 500 pallets stored in various places because they're waiting for the best opportunity to sell everything. Nor do they mention about the various mods they're using, and who knows how many of those mods are poorly optimized. Heck, I've seen some trucks. I've seen some truck mods out there that are bigger than maps. There's absolutely no reason a truck mod would be 700 megs in size. Zero. Yet they exist because they themselves are poorly optimized. So slots exist, limits exist for console players such that you will have, hopefully, as best a gaming experience possible, because Sony and Microsoft don't want you to have a bad experience that will then cause you want to go out and buy a PC or the competing console, right? They don't make any money on the console. Consoles are a loss leader. They make all their money on software. So game subscriptions and licensing of games is where they make their money. So the only way they're going to make money is to keep you playing on their product. So that's where slot counts came from. I think FS15, and maybe you guys can correct me. I think FS15 was the very first farm sim that was available on console, and I don't think it had slot counts. I don't think it had limits, but it also had extremely minimal mods if any. And I think I've heard from even console creators, like pretty sure Mr. Sealy P had mentioned before, that, you know, he had completely bogged his FS15 game down with vehicles and implements and stuff. It happens to everyone, right? So when FS17 released on console, there were suddenly these limits. And maybe one could argue that that came because of mods. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe it also came because of players bogging their systems down with 15. They may be one and the same, where they did come 100% because mod support came available. Or maybe they were a product of how FS15 ran on consoles after folks bought a bunch of stuff. I'm not gonna play. Now, the last console I owned that I played on was the original Xbox. That was a long, long time ago. Now we have in the house an Xbox X. That's technically the daughter's, and we have a Sony Switch. No, not a Sony Switch. A Nintendo Switch. That's my son's. But I don't use any of those. I'm just not interested in basically running on a closed platform. Really, if I wanted to run on a closed platform, I'd have an iPhone. Nope, I've got an Android. If I wanted to compute on a closed platform, I'd have a Mac. Nope, nope, got Windows. I like open platforms. I like open platforms. That to bring it back to GPortal. GPortal is pretty open as far as a host too, because you'll notice the graphic says Game Clouds, right? It's a little confusing. Their Game Cloud is and is not at the same time a game server. A Game Cloud could be a multitude of servers. What you're buying with a Game Cloud is you're buying resources. Okay? So let's say, and I have this very fact, I have a Game Cloud that supports 16 slots in Farm Sim 22. Well, that Game Cloud could be one server. That Game Cloud could be 5 servers. It could be 4 servers. So it could be 4 servers of 4 slots each. That's still 16 total slots. Or I could turn off 3 of those servers, and I could make one of those servers have all 16 slots available just to it. It's the ultimate in flexibility. Unlike traditional game hosts where you rented a single server with a single number of slots for a predetermined period of time, and if you wanted to make a change, you can only make a change at your next renewal. That's not how GPortal does it. GPortal allows you to go up and down slot counts willy-nilly, however you want. It's a pretty cool setup. Definitely worth checking out. And like I said, they've got their Black Friday sale going on until tomorrow. You save 50% off on new servers, or if you use my partner code, !GPortal, you can save an additional 5% off on top of that. Let's see, how much did we get this field planted? Maybe a little under half. Smoke 82, what's up? What's up? Happy Sunday. Oh, tomorrow I get back to the grind. After having 4 days off for a nice long weekend. My kid goes back to school after having a whole week off. Just a few more weeks away from Christmas. Hope everyone's making their list and checking it twice. Know which content creators have been exceptionally nice. Maybe we can find our way to the top of your list. I really should have saved some potatoes, as opposed to taking them all to the soup factory. But oh well. Yeah, Emery, I try to practice fairly minimal equipment myself. Like I said, I go for more of a sustainable gameplay. Where I try to be economically sustainable. Try not to take out massive loans. It does mean that I end up playing a little bit more small scale. Doing most of this work myself. For example, we have 2 tractors on this gameplay. I've got this tractor and a smaller one. And in 20 hours of gameplay, we've got 15 hours on this tractor. All right, this is kind of our workhorse. It's our bigger horsepower vehicle. Melvin, yes, we will be doing ATS tonight on 1.49. This 1.49 is now out in advance of Kansas releasing on Thursday. So we'll be taking a look at 149's updates and changes. A lot of really nice graphic improvements have been done with 149. A new skybox, day and night, weather changes, new lightning strikes. You can actually see the lightning strike. Used vehicles, a whole different maintenance model and repair model that I'd like to see come to Farm Sim, actually. where you have your vehicles wearing as they're used, and wear is different than damage. And certain types of things can be repaired, certain types of things can be maintained, but other things basically require a full-on rebuild in order to get back to a zero wear state. Right? You get enough hours on your engine, even if you've been changing maintenance, doing maintenance on it routinely, at some point you're just going to have to rebuild it. Because the things that aren't maintained with simple oil changes and filter changes are going to wear out. The auto dimming headlights would be, yeah, that's going to be fun. I like to just run with high beams, so it'd be fun to see that flip up and down. Oh, nice, Melvin. Did you have you set it up? Is that the Eaton Fuller shifter head, shifter knob? Ah, okay. Well, as long as it works. As long as it works, does it have the range shifter? That's what I was trying to get at, was, it has the range shifter on it. Oh, sorry. Oh, we're gonna have to take it alone. That's great. That's great. I use buttons on my Logitech side panel to do the range switching. I've just got the normal round knob handle on my shifter. All right, let's take out a small loan. 30K. And we'll get this real fast. probably should have limed this field before I did the other things. What shifter do you have that you're using it with? I think we have bulk lime, right? Combine lime. No, I can't. All right. All right, I have to put pallets down. Okay, so generic shifter. They both connect via USB. I assume that the knob has its own USB connection because of the switch. Or how does that all interconnect? Brayden! Yeah, they changed the interface, didn't they? They changed the interface on their account sign-up page like weeks after that video came out. Not taking credit that they changed it because of the video, but it was like, seriously? Like right after that drop, they just changed the interface around. But still, you know, still they are scoundrels for making it difficult or making it next to impossible for people to realize that they can sign up for a free account and not have to give them any money for any reason. Right? It's possible, but darned if they don't hide it. And for that, they are scoundrels. I mean, everybody's allowed to make a buck. Everybody's allowed to make a buck, especially if you have a product that makes things easier. But to lead someone to believe that they have to pay versus, you know, just make it a little less hidden. Great, and I really don't go to Nexus mods for anything farm sim related. I've got tired. I got tired of trying to figure out, is the mod a legitimate mod? Did someone legitimately make this and put it out there for people to download? Or did somebody just grab someone else's legitimate mod and stick it somewhere, hoping to make a buck off of someone else's work? Right? I just got tired of figuring that out. So I really just get stuff off of the Giants Mod Hub. Unless I know 100% fact that the mod authors put it somewhere else. Now, a lot of folks have started to use itch.io for their mods, and they have their own itch.io page, as opposed to using a mod site like Nexus. I don't know how discoverable itch.io mod sites are, other than you just know they exist, right? Like, the good thing with mod sites like Nexus is you can go and everything's categorized. You want to see farm sim mods, everything's categorized. I don't go to itch.io a lot, other than when I know that there's a mod, and typically I would already have a link to that page, right? So I don't know how discoverable if you go to itch.io and just say I want to look for Farm Sim 22 creators, if it gives you a listing. It would be nice if it did. Yeah. Other games I play, I use Steam Workshop for ATS mods. I've tried to install some mods for Baldur's Gate 3 for my son off of Nexus. I don't think I was able to do it. And I don't know, I followed the directions, but they didn't show up, so I don't know, we didn't do something right. Melvin's got the SHKAL Shackler shifter knob and the GSTP shifter. Okay. Yeah, Farmer G, that's been around for a while. That's been floating around there for a while. I mean, you know, it's Lua code. Lua code can do all types of things. I think we can probably get by with 25% on our planner. All right, Graydon. Thanks for dropping by. Glad the video was helpful to you. I don't know if there's anything Farm Sim or Giants could do to do any sort of checking of the code or any sort of sandboxing of the code that's executed from mods that would prevent it from deleting other mods and or prevent it from deleting save games. I know, you know, in that same folder structure, there was a mod settings folder, and mods have the right to write to that mod settings folder, right? But I don't know if they've been jailed. You know, if the game was coded in such a way that the mods were jailed from being able to write to anything outside of that mod settings folder. Maybe you could read files, but you couldn't write or delete from anything outside of the mod settings folder. Or maybe you could code it so that they were jailed even more, that they could only read and write. They could only write and delete files within a subfolder of the mod settings folder. And that subfolder was defined by the mod name. Right? That may be possible. Maybe. that might go a decent way in doing some security on mods, coding, execution. Artemis, good afternoon. But as someone who never codes, I don't know if that's practical or not. Melvin, thank you for being a member for 7 months. I feel like you've been a member longer than that, but maybe it accidentally lapsed. All right, so back up here. All our fields need lime. No, just these 4, these 2, and this one. I think we're gonna put. I want to put root crops in these. I want to put root crops in these, and maybe this one, and then leave like a couple of these over here that don't work so hot for sorghum. So I'm thinking we put like carrots in here and maybe carrots in 3.3, so 5.67. That's almost 10. Just trying to figure out how to evenly make these various root crops. They could Farmer G. That would be the I'm not going to create any code, and just shame on you for installing third-party mods outside of our testing ecosystem, right? Dota Gaming, thank you for becoming Farm Boss. I didn't already say that. Much appreciated. I update credits at the start of the month, so I'll update those here toward the end of this week when we roll into December 1st. And speaking of December 1st, every year we have 25 days of Christmas on the Discord. And the 25 days of Christmas is basically when I give away one free random game title a day from December 1st until December 25th. And when I say random game title, I mean random game title. So we'll be running a giveaway post every day from December 1st till December 25th, where Discord members can join the giveaway, enter the drawing, if you will, and then every day I'll do a drawing, and whoever wins will get a Steam key for that said game. It's my way of giving back to you guys for, well, giving to me all year long. Giving me your view time, your watch time, channel membership time, money. Using affiliate links, all that fun jazz. Just a good way for me to say thanks. If you're not a member of the Discord, go ahead and use that link. Join up so you can be a part of this year's 25 Days of Christmas. Celeste, what? I don't know about that, but yeah. All right. Planting is done. For our potatoes. Oh, we did that perfect. 83 liters. 83 liters of potatoes left in here because, you know, we can't get rid of our potatoes. Too bad. Alright, let's go get our lime. Steam fall sale is going on. I don't know what that means. What's scruples? I know what scruples are, but I don't know what gripples are. You've confused me. I haven't even made up my random list yet. Give me some lime. There's all my money. Oh, groupies. I thought you were one of my groupies. I was looking for the bag shrink. There it is. It's shrinking. It's shrinking. I was like, why is the bag not shrinking? Yeah, I think we'll have to take out some more money loan and then we'll pay it off as we do our monthly soup sales. Oh, look at that little floating, I don't know if you can see it. See a little floating thingy bobber? Is there one on this side? No. Unfold it. Where's it going? Random little floating object on the spreader. I don't know if you see it. There we go, lined up. Let's do it. Mojo Jojo, thank you for becoming a farm baron. There we are. And we'll just go ahead and shoot across. We'll do these. So yeah, I think if we put beets in these, carrots in these, maybe parsnips in this one, carrots in these two, parsnips, red beets. And I need one more field with parsnips. So maybe parsnips in this field, and then we'll put sorghum in here, Maybe put parsnips there too, and sorghum in there. 1, 2, 3. Maybe corn in that one. Because we need to support our Piggly Wigglies. And well, I guess I need a protein too, right? Or maybe I find a ingenious little pig food factory. That takes just a couple inputs and is relatively small. I could place down over there. Look the part. I gotta go looking for a Eastern European pig food production that looks the part. I have to do that another day. Anybody have any word on straw harvest? That's the thing I'm curious on. The straw of harvest. Right? Supposedly coming out this year. Well, we have a month left. Is it going to be a surprise Christmas drop? I hope not. It means we got to wait another 4 weeks. There isn't a whole lot of time left. Not a lot of time left at all. Did anybody, and it's probably, oops, it's probably a remote chance, but maybe, did anybody have a chance to go to Agrotechnica? I hear it was at the Crone booth. Straw Harvest was at the Crone booth. Be nice to know what was showed off. I think Agrotechnica is a little bit far for the normal audience. Okay, so when we run out of lime, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward to April. That'll put us in sorghum planting mode, as well as mode for our rest of our root crops. We'll be able to sell our soup stash for the month. Get a little bit of a ingest of money. Maybe we'll luck out and something we need will be on sale that we can also pick up, because I still need to get my my root crop, my potato, not potato, but my beet, parsnip, and carrot planter. And I need something to plant sorghum with. And just enough. Finish that out. Good deal, good deal. Driver 53, what is up? Sir, how are you doing? How's it going? Oh, wrong one. Wrong one. I don't think you've been keeping up with ATS, but Kansas drops on Thursday. PC parts, what are you upgrading now? What are you upgrading now? Here, I think is that all of them? Oh, just short. All right, let's go make our monthly sale on soup. I don't want to go to the train right now. We'll just go to the farmer's market. RAM is always a good thing. And I don't know if your system has DDR5. Probably doesn't. I think it's probably got DDR4. At some point, DDR4 is going to start going up in price because more and more people will transition over to DDR5. I don't know if that's starting to happen or not, but it's probably going to be happening sooner than later. It might be the best time to pick up some cheap DDR4. Only 28,000 this month. Dark Zone Gaming, welcome. Welcome. You know, while I'm here. While we're here. Oh. All right, for sale. Nope. Nothing useful. Thanks, but no thanks. I need you. And I need one of you. Yeah. Oh, too expensive. All right, we'll do that. We'll do that. Alex, thank you for the sub. Well, Melvin, not to make you spend money, but now is a great time to check at those DLCs because everything other than Oklahoma is on sale with respect to ATS. Oklahoma is the most recent DLC prior to Kansas dropping on Thursday, so that's still at full price. But Texas is a massive hookup, right? I mean, there's a ton of driving to do in Texas for the money. Yeah, there for a long time, DDR5 was priced premium. Super expensive DDR5 was. But it's starting to get more cost effective as more and more production plants and production's ramped up. Better yields are coming out of that. So, those of you on PC that are looking to auto-load these crates, right? I mentioned a while ago, Universal Autoload. I updated that with the version over at the GitHub, and look at that, we can load now 10 crates per load, whereas before with the version of Universal Autoload that was over at the Giants Mud Hub, we were only able to grab 7. We can now grab a full 10. So that's going to leave us with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, that's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2 loads, 2 more months. 2 more months of hauling crates down to our soup factory. Then we'll have everything hauled from last year. Let's go line these two long fields over there. And maybe we'll just start with our planting. Is that going to take you to 32? Tell you, 16 is the new sweet spot, right? If you've got 8, that is really cutting yourself short. 16 is the new sweet spot for just about anything. At work, I don't buy anything that doesn't have 16 in it. And interestingly enough, Apple's trying to pawn off their new, I think their new MacBooks or something with 8. And I get Windows and iOS or Mac OS are completely different beasts, but still. Shows you Apple is not consumer friendly. 100%. Right, the party line is Apple products are for creators. Yet Apple products are not available for expansion. And they're trying to pawn off 8 gigs of RAM for creators. No, I'm sorry. Sorry, 8 gigs of RAM is maybe good for grandma who only looks at the web and watches videos of her grandkids. Anybody else, you need 16. Absolute minimum. I'll have to check the Giants portal mojo. I don't know if it's listed there with the hot link. The code will work on anything from the Giants eShop. Yep. And in fact, I can just slap the code on the end of the URL and that'll work too. I don't believe it. No. I mean, if you're going to fire up Premiere, Photoshop, it's not going to suddenly take less RAM. All right, we're gonna need to buy more limo. I don't want to buy a chicken feed. Oh, that was a close one. I was like, why is that $11,000? Not make any sense. Or riddle me this, Farmer G. I ran into this when I was pricing stuff out last week. MacBook Pro. You want a 16-inch MacBook Pro? You gotta get either the M3 Max or the M3 Pro chip. You can't have an M3 standard 16-inch MacBook Pro. Nope. Can't have it. If you want a bigger screen, then you have to pick one of the bigger processor bundles. You may say to yourself, well, if you want a a little M3 chip, then you got to go with the 14-inch MacBook Pro, because that's, that's for light users. Well, the 14-inch, you can have the standard M3, you can have the M3 Max or the M3 Pro. Whatever chip you want, they'll sell it to you in a 14-inch form factor. But if you want the larger screen for on the go, then you got to pay the larger price for the Max or the Pro also. Well, John, they are tied to the Platinum expansion. So the code for the rocks and the code for the tree missions is in the Platinum expansion DLC. So if they were to incorporate rocks and trees here in the premium expansion, they would have either had to have required Platinum for premium, or maybe come up with a way for those things to not be active if you didn't have premium, which might be a customer service thing for folks going, well, I see people doing this and I can't do that on my own version. Or include the code right in this DLC and that DLC. So that would be my only assumption, is that since that code is locked away in the Platinum DLC, that they didn't want to have, one, a different experience for those that did or didn't have that other DLC, and or also did not want to include the code in this one as well. Now, I would love to see Giants open up their DLC to the point where mappers who owned, and I'm not in any way condoning piracy here, if you are a creator and you own the DLC, then you should be able to create things with it, and then players who own the DLC should be able to then make use of your creation, because both you as a creator and them as a player both legally owned the product for which the code is being referenced from. But sadly, we're kind of stuck with having to wait until the next farm sim, which will hopefully be this time next year. There's no official information on that. It's just speculative at this point. But it would be nice to see that. Yeah, back when Focus Home Interactive was pushing the release cycles to be every other year, having to wait a year from the expansion, right, stuff becoming freely available was less than a burden than to have to wait 2 years or longer for the locked away DLC stuff hopefully become available in the next release. But yeah, it would have been nice to have crushable stones again on this, and it would have been nice to maybe incorporate, tree missions, to go around and maybe clear up trees from the town or the surrounding areas. So I think what we were gonna put what am I gonna put in here? I'll put red beets in here. I'm gonna put red beets in these 4 fields. And then we'll put in parsnips and carrots in the other fields. Tuki, there's no poplar here. That's in your save. You're getting your save and my save mixed up. Remember your save, you went exclusively poplar so that you could do wood chips. Whereas I'm a soup farmer, and you can't make soup out of wood chips. I think you would go insane before you would get to that point. Oops. Let's go get our planter. That's okay. That'll work. I was going to say, what happened to my potatoes? I put them in a different orientation, but that's fine. That's fine. If you're already insane in the membrane, then that's a different story. Are you going to be ATSing tonight? That is, I mean, it's still really good delivery time for ordering on a Sunday. Right? Truck's not going to ship out until tomorrow. Jonah, that's great to hear. That's great to hear. How is that new monitor? What'd you get? I tell you, you've got something better than 60 hertz. Right? Going from 60 hertz to anything, 120, 144, is like night and day difference. I think Farmer G, maybe they explained it in their Academy post. What in the heck? Why is that spawning sideways? I think they explained it in their Academy post. They went with red beets as the English name. I mean, who knows what it translates to on all the other languages. But they went with that because it was more, I think maybe more universally known, as opposed to beetroot. You know, like we have maize. Maize is the fill type in game, but it's corn, right? At least for us. Now, I assume in other countries, maybe maize is maize. Oh, 34-inch ultra wide. Nice. 1440p, very, very nice. Yeah, anything that big, you're gonna love 1440p over 1080. Oh, there's plenty of folks that are using large TVs as monitors. Let's get to town. Go. It's interesting how much lime we're getting rid of from that planter. Yeah. Now there's some nice TVs now that are 144 hertz, 120 hertz. You know, they're a great upgrade. Farmer G just picked up one. Schultz just picked up one. They both use large TVs as gaming monitors. Like I said, jumping from 60 hertz to anything. 90, 120, 144, 240 on the extreme end. It's just night and day. Yeah, I pretty much turn VSync off all the time. And then, you know, you start getting above, let's say, I've got a 32-inch 1080p monitor on my work machine, on my homework machine. And I do gaming on that monitor when I'm not sitting here in this streaming setup. And on the streaming setup, I have 32-inch ultra, or 32-inch 144 hertz 1440p monitors. And there's a stark difference between the monitor 1440p 32-inch and 1080p 32-inch. It's really noticeable, especially with text. Anything 32-inch or bigger, you really want 1440p, so you get more dots per inch, more pixels per inch. Because the pixels, there's no more pixels, right? A 21-inch or 22-inch 1080 monitor has the same number of pixels as a 34-inch 1080p monitor, which has the same number of pixels as a 60-inch 1080p display. The only difference is the pixels are bigger. And if your view distance isn't far enough away, then you really start seeing those bigger pixels. The text was the first thing I noticed when I went from 1080 to 1440p. Was text within Windows just was so much crisper to see and read because those pixels were smaller. Oh, here we go. Time to start skipping rows. Skipping rows. Skipping rows, taking names, and getting free FERT. That's what I'm all about. For sale. Could still use a weeder. Oh, it's you know, it's not going to save me anything. Right? 140. I'm not getting anything because I already got it. I know you love. We can get rid of this. I know you love your used tractors. Tookie runs his own used tractor mart. If used tractor shows up on Facebook Marketplace, he's got to pick it up. You don't have a use for it, but it's available. So you never know when you might need it. I could use a bigger tractor, like 250 horsepower. Farmer G, is this late breaking news? Did this just happen or something? You know, I'm not on Facebook. I don't know any of this stuff. What'd he release? What'd he release? Quit leaving us in suspense. Sometimes, but then it's got a lot more hours on it. Right? Then you gotta do more maintenance on it. Red beet. We gotta put everything in the ground. Alright, I wanna spread out my root crop planting. I'm gonna do red beets this month. I wanna do parsnips next month and carrots the following month. That'll spread out the harvest window. So I need to do red beets and sorghum this month. Farmer Trio, what is up? What is up, sir? How's it going? Oh, crop textures are good things. Well, hopefully he gets the map released before the next farm sim comes out. Right? I know he's been out of the game for a while. Lots have changed. Lots has changed since he was in the game. Well, I think in 19 his big thing was the sky, right? Maybe it was more. Well, I thought he was a big opponent of just how the new sky looked. You know, it's still, there's still dynamically generated clouds, right? It's still not a 4K skybox that is a static picture of clouds. Yeah, we had beautiful skies in 17 because they were static images of a real sky. Then right toward the end of 17, we had a mod drop that allows you to rotate static images of skies so that every day wasn't the same day. Right? But in the end, it was still static. 19 sky was really blah. 22's better. 22's better. But then you go to a game like ATS, and it's like, oh my god, amazing, right? And with 149, we got, don't we have clouds, like you can see clouds on the sky, on the ground as they move across the sun. We have shadows from the clouds. That's what we'd like to get to here in 22, or whatever the next farm sim is, right? Look at the loading screen of this map. That's not the sky we got in game. Did Giants do a little trickery that we've seen from so many other mappers that post screenshots of their in-dev maps using static skies? Because look at the map loading screen of this map, and you'd be like, that's hard pressed. I don't think I've ever seen a FS22 sky look like that. Well, Jonah, maybe SCS is working on a tuning pack for the 389, or has plans to do one. Right? We'll just have to find out. I think the tuning pack they did for the Kenworth 900, right? I think that went well. I think that was very well received. W900 tuning pack. So why not? But these things, yeah, they don't just hammer these things out in a week, you know. I wonder if we'll get any sort of secondary DLC release on Thursday with Kansas. It used to be that we would get a state in like a paint pack at the same time. Maybe now we would get a state and a tuning pack. That would be nice. Wouldn't that be a surprise? Thursday, Kansas releases, and let's say let's say a Peterbilt tuning pack drops. That would be crazy. That'd be like Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to you, right? I know there's been some videos of some early access Kansas stuff, but I haven't watched any of that. I want to save myself so I can have my Virgin Kansas experience on, I guess, next Sunday, December 3rd. I don't know if we're going to be doing an ATS launch party stream on Kansas on Thursday. We'll have to see. We'll have to play it by ear. We'll have to see maybe who can join us on Thursday versus Sunday, and if there's a map that drops on Thursday or not. Maybe we get a trailer pack. Right? I guess I could merge these fields. I'm just not a merger. All right, just make one long strip here, one long strip there. We'll have half the field done. More than half the field done. Once we get through these two passes that are left. So I'm going to go ahead and work on getting these 4 fields planted in red beets. Maybe we'll be in a position to come back tomorrow night to continue our sorghum and parsnip planting. We'll just have to wait and see. Tonight, we're going to be over at the Funhouse channel, FK's Funhouse. An exclamation point, FK's Funhouse. Should give you a link to that channel if you're not a subscriber. We're going to be doing our Sunday night convoy night with American Truck Sim as we continue to march our way towards the Kansas release on Thursday. Again, all of ATS and ETS2 is on sale over at Steam, other than the 2 most recent DLC drops. That is, I guess, the West Balkans, or the Balkans on ETS2, and Oklahoma for ATS. Because again, Kansas is releasing this coming Thursday. So if you want to see some crazy semi-driving mayhem action, well, all you gotta do is come over to the Funhouse channel tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. Until next time, happy farming.